One rusty old pickup truck just sold for more money than most people's houses. And the owner bought it for $300 at a garage sale 20 years ago. What if I told you that some beat-up old trucks sitting in barns and backyards across America are worth more than luxury sports cars? We're talking about regular working trucks that nobody thought twice about when they were new. But today, collectors are fighting tooth and nail to get their hands on them, paying crazy money that would make your jaw drop. By the way, I just noticed that only about 0.5% of people watching this channel are actually subscribed. If you could hit that subscribe button, it would help me out massively with getting monetized and bringing you more content like this. Here's the thing about classic pickup trucks. They weren't supposed to become gold mines. These were workhorses, beat up by farmers, construction workers, and regular folks who needed to haul stuff. Most got scrapped, rusted away, or met their end in some junkyard. But the ones that survived? They're now sitting pretty as some of the most valuable vehicles on the planet. The pickup truck market has gone absolutely bonkers in the last decade. We're seeing trucks that sold for $2,000 in the 80s now bringing in six figures at auction. And it's not just the rare, limited edition models. Some of the most valuable trucks are the ones that were everywhere back in the day. So, what makes a pickup truck worth more than a house? It's a perfect storm of nostalgia, scarcity, and pure American automotive history. Baby boomers who grew up with these trucks are now at the age where they've got serious money to spend on their dream rides. Meanwhile, most of these trucks got worked to death, so finding one in good condition is like striking oil. Let me walk you through 15 classic pickup trucks that have made their owners seriously wealthy. And who knows, maybe you'll spot one of these beauties in your neighborhood and realize you're looking at a gold mine on wheels. Number 15. The 1973 to 1987 Chevrolet C/K series. The Chevy C/K series doesn't look like much to most people. Square, boxy, and about as exciting as a cardboard box. But collectors call these trucks squares for a reason, and they're absolutely obsessed with them. A decent 1987 Chevy K10 that might have sold for $8,000 just a few years ago is now pulling in $20,000 to $30,000. And if you've got a short bed, four-wheel drive model with low miles, you're looking at serious money. The secret sauce here is that these trucks represent the last of the truly simple pickups. No computers, no fancy electronics, just pure mechanical simplicity that any backyard mechanic could work on. Plus, they're tough as nails. Many of these trucks are still doing daily work 40 years later. But here's where it gets crazy. The diesel versions, especially the 6.2-liter models, are commanding premium prices because everyone wants that old-school diesel sound and the ability to run on just about any fuel you can pump. Number 14. The 1948 to 1952 Ford F-Series. Ford's first-generation F-Series trucks changed everything. Before these came along, pickup trucks were basically cars with beds stuck on the back. The F-Series was designed from the ground up as a truck, and it shows. A restored 1950 F, one can easily bring $50,000 to $70,000 at auction. But here's the kicker. Even project trucks that need complete restoration are selling for $15,000 to $20,000. That's insane money for something that might not even run. The reason these trucks are so valuable is simple. They're the foundation of America's best-selling truck line. Every F-150 you see on the road today traces its DNA back to these post-war beauties. Collectors know they're getting a piece of automotive history. And let's be honest, they just look cool. That distinctive grille, those simple, honest lines. These trucks have a presence that modern vehicles just can't match. Plus, they're incredibly customizable, which means hot rodders and restorers are constantly driving up demand. Number 13. The 1967 to 1972 Chevrolet C10. Now we're getting into the real moneymakers. The late 60s, early 70s C10 is probably the most desirable classic truck in America right now. And prices reflect that demand. A numbers-matching 1969 C10 with the original 350 small block recently sold for $85,000. That's not a typo. $85,000 for a half-ton pickup truck. And that wasn't even a rare, special edition model, just a regular work truck that somebody took really good care of. These trucks hit the sweet spot of classic American design. They've got those clean, flowing lines that define the late 60s, but they're not overly complicated or loaded down with chrome like some of the luxury cars from that era. They look fast even when they're sitting still. The aftermarket support for these trucks is incredible too. You can build an entire C10 from reproduction parts if you wanted to. That means even rusty, beat-up examples have value because someone out there is willing to restore them. Number 12. The 1955 to 1957 Chevrolet Task Force series. Chevy's Task Force trucks are absolute works of art. These were the trucks that introduced the world to modern pickup design, with integrated fenders, wraparound windshields, and styling that looked like it came from the future. A pristine 1957 Cameo carrier. That's the fancy, car-like version with smooth sides, can bring over $100,000 at the right auction. Even regular stepside models are pulling in 40 to 60 grand for nice examples. The thing about these trucks is that they were actually pretty advanced for their time. Chevy was trying to make pickups more appealing to regular consumers, not just farmers and construction workers. They succeeded maybe a little too well. These trucks are gorgeous. But they're also incredibly rare in good condition. Most got worked hard and put away wet, so finding one that hasn't been modified, crashed, or rusted away is like finding buried treasure. Number 11. The 1978 to 1979 Ford F-150 Lariat. Here's where things get interesting. The late 70s F-150 Lariat represents the birth of the luxury pickup truck. Before the Lariat, trucks were purely utilitarian. But Ford decided to load one up with air conditioning, power everything, and fancy interior trim. A survivor-quality 1979 F-150 Lariat with low miles recently sold for $42,000. That might not sound like lottery money, but consider that you could buy the same truck for $3 grand just 10 years ago. These trucks are valuable because they represent a turning point in automotive history. They proved that Americans would pay extra for a comfortable, well-equipped pickup truck. Every luxury truck on the market today owes a debt to the Lariat. Plus, they're just cool. That two-tone paint, the chrome bumpers, the plush interior, these trucks had style that most modern pickups can't touch. Number 10. The 1941 to 1947 Dodge WD series. Dodge's WD series trucks might be the most underrated classics in America. While everyone's fighting over Fords and Chevys, smart collectors have been quietly scooping up these pre-war and early post-war Dodges. A restored 1946 Dodge WD-15 recently brought $58,000 at Barrett-Jackson. That's serious money for a brand that most people don't even associate with classic trucks. These trucks have character in spades. That distinctive grille, those fender-mounted headlights, the Art Deco influence in the design. They look like they drove straight out of a 1940s movie. And mechanically, they're bulletproof. Many of these trucks are still working today, 80 years after they rolled off the assembly line. The secret to their value is rarity. Dodge didn't sell nearly as many trucks as Ford or Chevy, so finding a good one is genuinely difficult. And when something's rare and cool, collectors will pay up. Number 9. The 1964 to 1966 Chevrolet C10. The mid-60s C10 represents Chevy truck design at its absolute peak. These trucks have perfect proportions, clean lines, and just enough chrome to look classy without being overdone. A pristine 1966 C10 fleetside with the original 283 V8 can easily bring $60,000 to $70,000. And if you've got one of the rare factory big block trucks, you're looking at serious six-figure money. What makes these trucks so special is their versatility. They look right whether they're restored to factory specs, customized with modern running gear, or built into full-blown hot rods. That broad appeal keeps demand high across multiple collector segments. Plus, these were the trucks that established Chevrolet's dominance in the pickup market. They outsold Ford for the first time in decades, and they did it with style and reliability that set the standard for everything that came after. Number 8. The 1956 Ford F-100. The 1956 F-100 is Ford's masterpiece. This truck perfectly captured the optimism and style of the mid-50s, with clean, modern lines that still look fresh today. A Concours quality 1956 F100 recently sold for $78,000. That's approaching exotic car money for a pickup truck. And even driver quality examples are bringing 30 to 40 grand. The 56 F100 benefits from perfect timing. It was the last year before Ford's trucks got bigger and more complex, so it represents the end of an era. It's also the first year for Ford's legendary Y-block V8, which gives it serious performance credibility. But mostly, it's just beautiful. The proportions are perfect, the chrome work is restrained and elegant, and the overall design has a timeless quality that never goes out of style. Number 7. The 1967 to 1968 Ford F100. Ford's late 60s F100 trucks are absolute stunners. These were the trucks that proved Ford could match Chevrolet's style leadership, with flowing lines and integrated design that looked like nothing else on the road. A numbers-matching 1968 F100 with a 390 big block recently brought $82,000 at Mecum. That's supercar money for a half-ton pickup, but collectors clearly think it's worth every penny. These trucks represent Ford at the height of its design powers. The twin I-beam front suspension was revolutionary for the time, and the styling was so good that Ford kept elements of it for decades. The real secret to their value is that Ford didn't make that many of them. By 1969, the F100 was being overshadowed by the new F150, so these late 60s models represent the end of the line for a classic nameplate. Number 6. The 1953 to 1956 Ford F100. The second-generation F100 is where Ford really hit its stride. These trucks combine the ruggedness of the earlier F-Series with styling that looked like it came from the future. A restored 1955 F100 can easily bring $60,000 to $80,000, depending on options and condition. And the rare factory V8 models? Those are commanding over 100 grand at the right auction. What makes these trucks so valuable is their perfect blend of form and function. They look great, but they're also incredibly capable work trucks. You can drive one cross-country and arrive in comfort, then use it to haul a load of lumber the next day. The aftermarket support is incredible too. You can get any part you need for these trucks, from engine internals to complete body panels. That means even rough examples have restoration potential, which keeps values high across the board. Number 5. The 1973 to 1979 Ford F-Series Highboy. The Ford Highboy might be the coolest truck ever built. These four-wheel drive F-Series trucks sit up high on their suspension, with aggressive good looks that scream capability. A pristine 1979 F250 Highboy recently sold for $96,000. That's almost six figures for a truck that sold for about $6 grand when it was new. And even rough examples are bringing $20,000 to $30,000. The Highboy earned its reputation the hard way by being absolutely unstoppable off-road. The high ground clearance, rugged drivetrain, and simple mechanics made these trucks legendary among farmers, ranchers, and outdoorsmen. But they're also incredibly rare in good condition. Most Highboys lived hard lives, so finding one that hasn't been beaten to death is genuinely difficult. That scarcity is driving values through the roof. Number 4. The 1967 to 1972 Chevrolet K10/K24X4. Chevy's first-generation four-wheel drive trucks are absolute gold right now. These were the trucks that proved four-wheel drive could be practical for everyday use, not just specialized applications. A numbers-matching 1969 K10 with a 350/TH350 combination recently brought $112,000 at Barrett-Jackson. That's supercar money for a pickup truck, but the bidding was fierce. These trucks represent the birth of the modern four-wheel drive market. Before the K-Series, four-wheel drive was mostly limited to military vehicles and specialized commercial trucks. Chevy changed all that with trucks that looked good and drove well on the highway. The styling is timeless too. That aggressive stance, the flared fenders to cover the wider track, the simple but effective four-wheel drive system. Everything about these trucks just works. Number 3. The 1955 to 1959 Chevrolet Task Force Cameo Carrier. The Cameo Carrier represents Chevrolet's first serious attempt to make pickup trucks appeal to suburban buyers. With its smooth fiberglass sides, car-like interior, and two-tone paint schemes, the Cameo was unlike anything else on the road. A Concours-stored 1957 Cameo recently sold for $135,000. That's serious money for any vehicle, let alone a pickup truck. But when you consider that only about 5,000 Cameos were built in total, the price starts to make sense. These trucks were way ahead of their time. While other manufacturers were still building purely utilitarian work trucks, Chevrolet was creating something that looked like it belonged in a country club parking lot. The fiberglass bedsides were revolutionary but also fragile, which means most Cameos that survived have been damaged and repaired multiple times. Finding one with original, undamaged bodywork is like finding the Holy Grail. Number 2. The 1948 to 1950 Chevrolet 30-100. Chevrolet's advanced design trucks changed everything. These were the first trucks designed specifically for the post-war world, with styling and features that looked toward the future instead of the past. A frame-off restored 1949 3100 recently brought $147,000 at auction. That's Ferrari money for a Chevrolet pickup, but collectors clearly think it's worth every penny. These trucks established the template for modern pickup design. The integrated cab and bed, the curved windshield, the Art Deco-influenced styling. Every modern truck traces its design DNA back to the Advanced Design series. But they're also incredibly rare in good condition. Most of these trucks worked hard for decades, so finding one that hasn't been modified, crashed, or rusted away is genuinely difficult. Number 1. The 1967 Chevrolet C10 with L72 427. Here's the holy grail of classic pickups, a 1967 Chevrolet C10 with the legendary L72 427 big block. These trucks are so rare that most collectors have never seen one in person. The last documented L72 C10 to sell at auction brought $235,000. That's $250,000 money for a pickup truck, but when you consider that fewer than 3,000 were ever built, the price starts to make sense. The L72 427 was Chevrolet's ultimate big block engine, producing 425 horsepower in an era when most cars were lucky to make 300. Putting this engine in a lightweight pickup truck created something that could embarrass Corvettes at the drag strip. But these trucks were expensive when new, and most buyers opted for cheaper engine options. That means genuine L72 trucks are incredibly rare today, especially in unmodified condition. The market for classic pickup trucks shows no signs of slowing down. Baby boomers are driving demand for the trucks they remember from their youth, while younger collectors are discovering the appeal of simple, honest vehicles that they can actually work on themselves. Values have increased dramatically over the last decade, and many experts think we're just getting started. As these trucks become rarer and more desirable, prices will likely continue climbing. The key is authenticity. Numbers-matching trucks with original drivetrains and minimal modifications are commanding premium prices, while modified examples are worth significantly less. If you've got one of these classics sitting in your barn or backyard, you might want to take a closer look. That old work truck could be your ticket to retirement. Don't forget to check out our next video where we reveal the muscle cars that are making their owners rich.